Welcome everybody to another Soar Financial live stream here. This is SF Live, episode 3. I'm joined by Jeff Pontius today of Corvus Gold. As you know, this is a new format, so hiccups do still happen, as my phone just turning on with the live stream here. And we ask you to use hashtag AskCore to ask your questions live during this stream. It's going to take around 12-15 minutes, depending on how many questions we get in. And the point is to give investors an update on what is going on in the current situation. So I'm joined here with by Jeff Pontius. We're going to switch over now to Jeff. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, great.
And as I said before, so the idea of this live stream, it really is to give investors an update. We're in really interesting times right now, and we'll see how Corona is changing the landscape, but we're planning on using this format also going forward, because I think this is a great tool to directly interact with investors, even post news releases. Let's say you put out drill results. But pressing issues at hand, what's Corvus doing right now? What's happening? I see you're in your office. So give us an update. What's happening?
Yeah, thanks, Kai. Well, it's a great opportunity to give everybody a little update on how things are going with Corvus. Our project is advancing as before. We haven't had any significant impact from a standpoint of productivity or budget or overruns or costs like that. Colorado is, like most places where I am today, on sort of a modified stay-at-home sort of situation. But in Nevada, projects like our exploration project at North Bullfrog and mining projects are considered essential industries, and so those things are all going forward. So things are advancing well on the Bullfrog project out there. Right now we're currently drilling at Motherlode with 2 core rigs and 1 RC rig, and the productivity is going well, and the holes are being advanced. We're testing a new deeper part of Motherlode. I think it's important that everybody understand that in January we had about 21 million in our treasury, 21 million Canadian. That's adequate funding to take us through our next 24 months to basically 30 months of the project's go-forward plan. And that plan includes getting our Phase 1 North Bullfrog project well-defined. We're doing an internal pre-feasibility study to determine, is that project significant and does it make sense for a group like Corvus to take that project forward. We should have that answer this summer. Then we would move that project, if it's positive, we would move that project into permitting. We would expect to be able to expand our current plan of operations permit we have for North Bullfrog to incorporate an early stage, our Phase 1 mining plan, and be able to get that permit completed by the end of 2021. So that's an important thing for us. In addition, we're having what appears to us to some significant success with expanding the Motherlode project deeper. This project had an initial resource back in the fall of 2018 of 1.4 million ounces. We're expecting to be able to push that resource up to about 2 million ounces. And if this deep drilling continues to be very successful, which is what it appears to be at this point, we would expect to continue to be able to expand that deposit, and it could get quite sizable. We're shooting for an ultimate target with the next round of deep drilling of around 3 million ounces in pit in that project. So this area is quite fertile from the standpoint of an ability to grow these deposits, and there may very well be more of these along trend in the Motherlode area, as well as more of our North Bullfrog style of mineralization in that North Bullfrog Gap, Ranson area. So lots of exploration going on, all fully funded. We'll be pushing this project along for the next 24 to 30 months to get us in a position where we could make a construction decision with a fully permitted Phase 1 project.
No, interesting. Okay. Permits is one thing I want to talk about, because I asked you before offhand, like what's happening in the situation. Like, is Nevada on a shutdown? Like, does the BLM actually work? And do you expect a delay to the permitting?
Yeah, we're operating under the current permit for our Motherlode project is is adequate for our drill plan for 2020. We've submitted a permit for what's called a plan of operations on that project. That was submitted to the BLM. The BLM put that out for public comment about 2 weeks ago, and that will get, we believe, basically the permit written and delivered to us by about the end of May. And so, yeah, the BLM is in the office. They're working. They're go ahead and processing permits. As I said, mining is considered a critical industry in Nevada. So we haven't seen any hiccups on that front so far. And I think we should be able to see all that work continue on going forward.
Okay. Has your day-to-day been impacted at all? Like, as I said, you're sitting in your office right now, so...
Yeah, a little bit of my day-to-day. I mean, our office here, what we do is process financial information on the project, pay bills, basically, create an ability to have information flow back and forth. So Corvus is currently in business doing that kind of work, which is permitted here in the state of Colorado. So it's a little bit different in the fact that usually I would be traveling and attending conferences, and there are several of them that have been canceled over the next 3 months, I think, or so here. So I won't be coming out to Europe here for a while, but it's or over to New York City. But basically things seem to be running, pretty much normal for us, and we haven't seen a lot of impact, I guess, from some of the stuff going on.
Oh, okay, so that's good. Like response times on emails stuff still works out quite well.
Yeah, we have in our study that we're doing for our phase 1 project, which looks very attractive, of basically getting Corvus into mining and producing gold with a very low capex project. We have a number of consultants that are coming together, providing detailed data, doing field work on the project site, doing engineering work in their offices, and all that work is going on. Most of the meetings we have nowadays are like this, via Skype or GoToMeeting. So that's kind of how we communicate now more. But so far it hasn't impacted our timeline of being able to have this definitive study done by the middle of the summer.
Okay. So you recently raised $23 million, or recently, 6 months
Right.
ago, something like that.
Yeah.
How much cash do you have left? And since we're talking about it, I'm going to pull up here the share structure for everybody to see as well on the screen. But has there been any impact? Of course, a lot of companies have just been sold down in liquidity events, and we've seen the market crumble, and people are just running for cash right now. You lost 25%, roughly 30% of your share price as well. Have you seen any of your bigger top shareholders? And I just pulled up slide 4 from your slide deck. Have you seen a shift there at all, or has there been any changes?
Bid for it, so they did sell that, and so we did see a downtrend like most companies did over this period of time. As far as cash goes, the last financials we put out, I think we had about 21 million in January of the cash. We burn, with this particular program that we're in, a little less than $1 million a month. So that cash we have now should take us through the main drilling event, which will go on till about this time next year, so the next 12 months or so, and then we go into a lower cost period where we're basically permitting and moving the phase 1 project forward, and doing a lot of technical review as far as expanding the overall resource base and so forth in 2021. With the data that we're generating right now. So financially, we're doing good. I think shareholder-wise, we're adding more institutional ownership. A lot of people look at this, and I think rightfully so, as how things were in '08. I had a company very similar to Corvus called International Tower Hill at the time. In November of '08, we hit our all-time low at about 80 cents. And literally about 3 or 4 months later, the company was able to have a share price of about 250. And from there, the share price went on over the ensuing 2 years and went up to a high of $10. So during that period of time, a lot of gold equity investors made a lot of money. That's when people made a ton of money, myself included. And we're looking for those times coming back. We've seen an unprecedented amount of liquidity added into the global banking market. I think we had about 3 or 4 trillion in '08 to '09. I think we're going to see 10 trillion added into the overall markets between all the central banks and the different government programs that are going on. This is an incredible tailwind for gold. And these are one of these once in a career type opportunities, and we're going to get a second shot at one of these, I think. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to how things go in the future. So from a share price standpoint, this is the story that we saw in '08 to '09, and I think we're going to see a pretty similar response over the next 2-3 years.
No, timing seems to be perfect. I just checked out the gold price, so we're sitting at 1610 and losing a bit of steam, but I think we're running the right direction here. So, and with permitting in 2021, I think you're on the right track here. So, enough of my question. Let's switch over to Twitter real quick. So we got one question in, and it's interesting. People are still getting used to our new format and using the hashtag #AskCore. So please still ask your questions. We're doing this live here. And we got one question in. I do have to read it off Twitter because I've noticed that Tweet Alert, what I'm using here to get the live stream on here, cuts the question off, unfortunately. But you can see that on Twitter as well. Just follow us or just search for the hashtag #AskCore. And so the question, we briefly, because it came in right before before we started broadcasting here, the question is like, what's going on, guys? You got the goods, you know it, we know it, your neighbors certainly know it. What needs to happen? You can only drill for so long before, well, you know what's next. So do you have an answer for that? Like, what's the Anglo situation? Do you have maybe an update on what they're up to there, your neighbors on the Silicon project?
Yeah, well, we have two important neighbors around us. One is Coeur Mining, who are actively drilling with, I think they have 3 rigs out there now, just north of Motherlode. So that's important work going on there by Coeur. They're chasing what probably is an attractive target type. So that's great. They're doing a lot of good work. We have good communication with the Coeur guys. Anglo is basically waiting for a permit on their on their Silicon project. I think that will take a while. Permitting, is always somewhat of a time-consuming process. So we'll see when they actually get that permit and are able to get back in to their Silicon project there and do some more drilling. They have submitted a very large plan of operation for that project, so I anticipate it will be very busy once they get their permit out there. I think district-wide, we're starting to see some other players involved. We have a large claim group that was staked recently by the Kenross group in the district on the west side, over more by our Gap and Ransom properties that we have over there. And they're actively working on that project. So I think, ultimately speaking, this is a district that's probably going to be able to generate a very significant mining opportunity in excess of 5 million ounces. It's certainly something that a producer is going to want to be able to put their arms around, I think. So ultimately, does this get consolidated into one ownership or a couple groups that share it as a joint venture? I would say that's the likely outcome for the district. And we'll just have to see. I mean, as we've seen around the industry, there was a pretty good little go of M&A opportunities and activity at the end of the last year. Everything's been kind of slowed down here a bit by the virus, but we've just started to see today a couple opportunities that have come along in the M&A space where Premier Gold is looking to buy out the Centerra interest, and we've seen a couple other things that have come along that look intriguing to us. So yeah, I think ultimately what we see is there will be M&A activity here. I think before Corvus is in a situation where Corvus is going to be probably happy with the sort of transaction situation, we're probably, I'm guessing 12 months away, maybe 24 months away, but we need to really take advantage of the tailwind of this gold market, this booming gold market that's coming. And we need to get that reflected in our share price is what Corvus needs.
Yep.
So we're patient right now. We've got a lot of cash. We've got great opportunities to advance this project and make it look a lot better as we go forward. And so I think that it's a good opportunity for us.
No, fantastic.
And,
yeah. In summary, like what can
that's what's next.
in summary, what can investors expect in terms of news flow for the next 3 months? Sort of to wrap this up here as well.
Yeah, I think one of the key things is there's going to be a lot of drill hole news coming, and as we are able to better define the deeper potential of Mother Lode, I think it's going to be great. I think out that will be in the fall. Probably September timing, September, early October timing, which should incorporate all the benefits of the Phase 1 project, along with an expanded Mother Lode resource, an expanded North Bullfrog resource, and it will probably be a significant improvement over the PEA that's sitting out there right now. We have a lot of new technical data that suggests lower CapEx costs and better operating costs for this new PEA. And that should give people a real flavor for what it is we've got. And, as always, Corvus likes doing a lot of drilling. I anticipate we'll get to test several new discovery targets on this large land package we have. And some of those could be significant new discoveries. So I think you're going to see a lot of news going forward, and we've got the cash to do it all without any more entry to the marketplace to raise funds.
Fantastic. Jeff, thanks for your time today. Thanks for the update. Thanks for telling us what's happening. So stay safe. Wash your hands.
Great. All right. Thanks.
Take care.
Guy.